Right, let us move on to the next class, which is Necromancer, guys. Necromancer, boys. Right, here you go. Right, Necromancer has always been designed to be a resilient profession that was light on stability. Well, yep, that is true, right? Since this update is specifically removing some stability from the traits, we made sure to buff their stun break skills, appropriate response. Oh, yeah, nice. Additionally, we've received a few issues, fixed a few issues with minion responsiveness and buffed a few weaker minion command skills. Oh, I like it. These actually sounds like some really fun traits. I like it. That's good shit. All right, here we go. So, Well of Power. Reduce the cooldown of this ability from 40 seconds to 30 seconds PvE. Yep, really underperforming skill. Might be quite a bit better now, actually. Nice. Plague Signet. Reduce the cooldown of this ability from 30 to 25 in PvE only. Yep, sure. It's still, as long as Scourge exists, Plague Signet is a bit redundant, to be honest. So, yeah, there is that. But it is a stun. They're reducing it because it's a stun break, and so as Well of Power, right? Spectral Armor. Cooldown is down to 30 seconds. This is actually a really nice buff for Open World Reaper, having the Spectral Armor more often. Very nice. Spectral Walk. Cooldown ability from 40 seconds to 30 seconds, okay? And they reduce the swiftness to 24 as well to kind of keep it in check a little bit as well. So they're not they're keeping the swiftness uptime kind of the same, but they're also nerfing the they're also reducing the cooldown so you can stun break more often. Yep, fair enough. That makes sense to me. But I mean, this is only in PvE. This is PvE changes, but I guess we're doing the global changes here. And yeah, so this is where we first see our unblockable stuff. So unblockable now is a stacking buff that makes your attacks unblockable, and even if they miss, right, you still lose a stack. So yeah, this is now a little bit different. Wait, oh, I've disappeared? Oh no. I'm coming back. Don't worry. Hang on. Need to make sure it's properly plugged in. One moment, my friends. Okay, there we go. Yeah. That is a big meme. A big meme indeed. All right, no, don't worry. I have returned. Yeah, the camera cooldown got nerfed there as well. Anyway, so, yeah, Unblockable is a little bit different now. This is probably okay. And honestly, just having a flat time of Unblockable is a little bit balked anyway. So I like this approach better, actually, in general. And honestly, you'll still get a lot of Unblockable there, actually, to be fair. You know, you can get a potential of 15 stacks of Unblockable if you hit 5 targets with it. I think that's fine. Minions. Necromancer minions will now play an effect when commanded to indicate they'll be using a special skill. This is telegraphed so other players can see it. Rigor Mortis, which is good. Rigor Mortis. Bonefield will now respond immediately. Oh, at last. He's a complete slacker, this guy. Very good. Horn. Increased radius by 120 to 300. This is actually, that's actually quite good. You know, guys, I had a meme comp, okay, where you would apply loads of conditions to all the bosses in PvE to maximize the effectiveness of Epidemic to kind of fuck over the Az with blind and chill and stuff. And now this is even better at doing that. This is, yeah, it's pretty good. You actually see this. You actually use that in PvE anyway to generate life force and do a bit of damage. That's good. Fleshworm, cooldown is down to 32 to 25 in PvE only. Yep, sure. That makes sense. You know, so you can use your stun break more often. It's kind of like a stun break you can precast in a way with Necrotic, because Necrotic Growth is a stun break. Flush on command skill, radius is up to 240 from 180. This is applies some poison, right? In AoE. Yep, that's fine. Doom. At last. This is one of the more obnoxious abilities in the game from Core Necro. This ability now has a cast time and inflicts fear on your foe at 640 milliseconds. The fear duration has been increased from 1 second at a distance or 1.5 seconds at close proximity to 2 seconds regardless. Oh, wait. From 1 second at a distance or 1.5 seconds to close proximity to 2 seconds. 2 seconds on successful hit regardless of distance? Oh, no. Wait, is that in PvP as well? That's quite scary. I've got to say. But I guess you've got to hit it so it does get nerfed because you can't just like YOLO it out of nowhere, right? Yeah, that is something to watch out for though. Be careful because that is quite strong, but definitely overall a nerf because it's not an instant cast like spamtastic ability. Makes sense. Death's Carabus added a visual effect for this buff that updates based on the number of I like that. That's fun. Foot in the Grave. This trait is gone and replaced by Eternal Life. Oof. See, this is actually a really good trait for Core Necro, because every time you go in Shroud on 10-second cooldown, you'd stun break and gain stab. Very powerful. And, well, now seeing as stun breaks across the board are being removed, this is appropriate. And I think Core Necro is one of those classes that definitely needs to be kept an eye on because it is very, very powerful. It's kind of kept in check by Necro not being very good rather than core Necro not being very good. So, yeah, this is probably a good thing as well. And bear in mind, Necro still has really good... You still have your kite potential. You're going to be very reliant on teleporting out with your Flesham and using Spectral Walk in PvP to escape there, I think, instead of just stun breaking all the time with Foot in the Grave. I think Foot in the Grave would have been overtuned with the next balance. And I say this as someone who really loves Necro, guys, okay? Like, yeah, this trait probably deserved it. But we've got a new trait. Eternal Life. They should have called it Life Eternal, by the way. It's way more fucking roleplay that way. Like, can we actually get that changed? Can we do Life Eternal instead of Eternal Life? For a start, you could actually do a pretty sick reference here, because there's a song by Ghost called Life Eternal, so you could have a little ghost be the icon, and it sounds fucking metal as well, which is good. Anyway. Gain life force constantly up to a threshold while not in Shroud. 66% in PV and 20% in PvP in Worldsword. Gain protection when you enter Shroud. That's not bad, actually. If you have a similar trait in Death Magic, actually, except it gives it to you and your minions. That is interesting, actually. Constant life force. I mean, it's only 20% in PvE in Worldsword, so it's not really good in PvP in Worldsword. In PvE, would you ever use that? Because you're going to play Death Perception in World versus World. And Doomfire is probably going to be pretty good in PvP, I feel like. Right? Because of Foot in the Grave getting retired. And Doomfire does quite a lot of damage, actually. Do you really need extra life force in PvP? It's only 20% as well. Protection when you gain Shroud is nice. That is true. But you already have kind of a big HP soak when you go in Shroud anyway. Because, fun fact, guys, Death Shroud means you take 50% reduced physical damage. Yeah, there you go. That's a fun fact right there, isn't it? That is fun and factual, my friends. So, might not be necessary. We'll see. We'll see the duration, how things go over there. But we'll see. We'll see. Flash of the Master, bug fix. Okay, great. So, some fun general changes. I am disappointed. I did think that maybe we would see a full rework to Big Shade for Scourge. Because what they've done is, Scourge has been deleted from PvP, which is a good thing, by the way. But I think it could have been brought back as a support spec. Right? Okay? And Pepeans. There you go. So I think they should have maybe reworked Big Shade. Maybe that's coming in the future. Maybe a full recap of Big Shade is coming. I even generated some tooltips using my own tooltip tool to make sure that all the tooltips are laid out for the dev team there as well. But unfortunately, they obviously think I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Unfortunate. There you go. I thought that, support Scourge could even work in PvP in World versus World. Just, like, make it not damaging at all. Because, honestly, Scourge is very unhealthy for PvP in World versus World. Unless it's a support spec. Then it could be okay. However, not being a support spec, yeah. No, it can't be a damage spec, I don't think. It can only be that in PvP. PvE, rather. So, alright, there we go. Okay. Oh, hang on. Now, here we go. Necro. So, Life Blast, damage, down a little bit. Oh, actually, down quite a lot. And life transfer down a little bit there as well. Now, power damage was, because you played Carry and Amulet, you actually did kind of crank out a fair bit of DPS, actually. Look, CMC knows what I'm talking about, dude. CMC knows what I'm talking about. And yeah, obviously the res gameplay would be, you wouldn't want to go too crazy on that, because it's very broken. But they already know that. They've nerfed Transfusion here as well. And they would obviously nerf Bloodwell if support schedule is going to be a thing, right? Because they're big brains, right? But yeah, life blast down, life transfer down as well. You would often play Carry and Amulet on this build anyway, so power damage was relevant, but this is just in line with everything else. Reaper. Dude, Reaper is... Okay, watch out. There are a lot of people kind of upset with these Reaper nerfs in PvP, but trust me, dude. Reaper is still really scary because the damage nerfs are in line with everything else, about 33% across the board here, right? Except, yeah, you're just, roughly. And, you get less stability, but yeah, that's fine. You're doing that anyway, right? Soul Spiral damage is down. Yeah. Execution side damage is annihilated, which is a big fucking Pepe hands. But Perma Quickness, 100% crit, and still pretty solid might generation, Reaper is scary, guys. Believe me. PvP in World vs. World, Reaper can potentially be scary. World vs. World maybe less so, because Scourge still exists and is very, very good. But watch out, okay? Watch out. Just saying. Right, let's continue here. Let's see. So, execution aside. So, they annihilated all of the damage here. On execution side, it now doesn't do any damage. It's like a 0.02 scaling and 1.5 second. Oh, but it's a 2.5 second stun though, and an AoE chill field, which you'll be forced to sit in because you're stunned. That is quite powerful. However, I would maybe prefer they went the other way with this skill and made it like a damaging execute instead of the stun and the chill. Although I guess they wanted to have some variation there and have some CC. But you've got the fear. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Scythe, stun into quickness, grave dig. Exactly. Yeah, you can like grave dig hard, dude. Yeah, the damage is one. Yeah, that's like fucking big damage. Yeah, the stun is 1 target. The damage is 5. It doesn't just make it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like, this, I kind of feel like this loses a lot of the flavor. You're not going to feel like an executioner, you know, when you're using this ability anymore. Maybe like remove the stun and make it like a big execute. I think it should still be single target, actually, because you whack someone over the head with the scythe. I like that. I kind of like the flavor on it, you know, I do like it. So you could just remove the stun, maybe, and just make it do big damage still. I kind of like it. It's fun. But then again, they want to have a... You could keep the ice field, right? You could maybe keep the ice field, keep the chill field there. Potentially as well. Food for thought. I think it's worth thinking about. Worth thinking about there. Oh, yeah, you could make it rip boons instead, but then it does loads of stuff. You could make it... But then it's kind of like Spinal Shivers, but also an execute... But this is actually very powerful, though, because if you actually land this, and then you can get a Soul Spiral or some auto attacks, you will destroy people with this. You will actually annihilate them if they don't have a stun break. And bear in mind, guys, stun breaks, they got wrecked. So that is quite scary. It's a powerful ability. But I'm just not really feeling the role play, man. I don't feel like a role player when I use this ability anymore. You know? I'm not a role player in this game. All right, Shade skills. Scourge. Manifest Sunshade, powers down. Yep, doesn't do any power damage anyway. Reduce Torment from 2 to 1. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a lot. And it uses... Now, you get 8 recharge in all game modes. Okay. That might be... I wonder if you would use Small Shade in World versus World now. I think there's actually a real possibility of that, because Big Shade is really scuffed. It's got the same amount of targets and a 3 times longer cooldown. Honestly, I'm feeling... Oh, is Big Shade getting adjusted there as well? No. I kind of... If Big Shade doesn't get adjusted, then I feel like this is kind of better. Does it get changed, though? It doesn't get changed. No, it doesn't get changed. Yeah. Big Shade is still a 100% increase in cooldown. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so it's still going to say as 100%. So it's going to be sick. Oh. Okay. So this means that is going to... That is going to be kind of spicy then, actually. Like, that means that the Shade meme is going to be going all over the place. So, yeah, like, Big Shade is kind of back then a little bit. Oh, no. Oh, no! Yeah, I was kind of hoping they would keep it at, like, a 30-second cooldown, but no, they won't. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Big Shade should just be kind of deleted. And this means that Scourge is still going to be very fucking good. Like, arguably better, actually, in World versus World. Oh, and they buffed Nefarious Favor as well. Increase the number of conditions converted from boons from 1 to 2. Increase the cooldown from 10 to 12 seconds. You could maybe roll this into PvE as well, to be honest. Actually, no, you couldn't. That would be broken. Maybe you could, though, and just increase the cooldown there as well. But bear in mind, guys, if you want to actually get value out of Nefarious Favor, you have to use it on yourself now. You won't be able to use it elsewhere. Sand Cascade cooldown's going up from 10 to 12 seconds there as well. And then Desert Shroud, reduce the power coefficient per strike from 0.45 to 0.3 there as well. So yeah, more condition focused there as well. And less baseline damage with the 1 second of Torment on the Manifest Sunshade there. This is good. Like, the Manifest Sunshade... You could even make the argument that it shouldn't do anything at all. It should just place the shade out there. And maybe reduce the cast time and it just place the shade or something like that. Because like having the shade appear on you and then start fucking you is a bit weird just in general. But there you go, right? Okay, weapons. Staff. Damage is down. Yep, no one cares. Doesn't do any damage anyway. Reaper's Mark, no damage. 0.01. Yep, there you go. That's good. The only mark that does damage is the fourth one, which actually can do quite a lot of damage. The Putrid Mark can do a fair bit of DPS. And I guess the Staff auto attack did a teeny tiny bit, but yeah, doesn't matter. Axe, Rending Claws. Damage is down. Oh no, Axe. Oh, guys, at last, Axe auto attack nerfs. Exactly what we needed for Necro, but yeah, you know, it's just keeping it in line, right? Keeping it in line. Unholy Feast. Unholy... See, these are a few changes where I think may have been a little bit... no, because they've removed a lot of boon application, I guess. There's a lot less boon duration. But they've reduced boon corrupt quite a lot, actually. Only one boon removed now on Axe. I feel like that was kind of okay at 2. I think even in its AoE capacity, it was probably... Well, it's got a short cooldown AoE boon corrupt. But it's melee, though. And it's got a long cast time as well. It's kind of a bit awkward. I think it was kind of okay like that. Maybe increase the cooldown rather than reducing the amount of boons it corrupted, I think. But they also made it so... it's increased the power coefficient of 0.8 to 0.1. Wow, extra damage. But then again, it actually doesn't do a crazy amount of damage anyway, so that's fine. Increase the bonus damage health threshold from 25 to 50%. Basically, when you're below 50%, it will like do a little double proc basically, and kind of double up its DPS in a way. Yeah, I don't know. Like, time will tell. Like the amount of boons in the game has been greatly reduced, so this is probably okay. But removing only one boon or rather corrupting it is a bit. Yeah, it's maybe a little on the weak side there as well, especially seeing as it is Necro's shtick as well. That I think you could consider that might be a little bit too far. And we see the same thing on Feast of Corruption on Scepter. I think you could make the argument that this is maybe a little... I don't know. Like, this is a very, very powerful ability. Maybe adjusting the cooldown, though, and keeping the boons on 2, or maybe having it on a trait as well, right? Having that on a trait to maybe bring that back potentially, like maybe make... Lingering Curse a little bit better, so you might run that, so you get an extra corrupt there as well. But Lingering Curse makes it AoE. Oh, yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit spicy. I feel like Feast of Corruption single target boon corrupt could still be 2 boons, maybe increase the cooldown a little bit. And honestly, I feel like Scepter could do with a little bit more life force. Like, Scepter in general needs a little bit more life force, I think, perhaps, potentially. But then again, it is still very strong. I think Core Necro in general, you have to be very careful with Core Necro. I think it could be very, very good. In PvP, potentially. If you are not careful, my friends. But here we go. Grasping Dead. Adjusted bleeding from 3 stacks for 10 seconds to 2 stacks for 12 seconds. That is 30 seconds down to 24 seconds, so an overall damage nerf, and lower cripple as well. This is good because one of the things that Necro would do is it will lock you down a lot. So that is good. And less power damage too. Again, Purity of Herbert. Scepter is a combi weapon. You shouldn't be spamming out body power. Very, very good. Okay, but yeah, I would say maybe Feast of Corruption is a little harsh. You could probably get away with that being on 2. Maybe increasing the cooldown from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, maybe, and keeping it on 2 instead of making it 1. I feel like 1 is a little bit lame. It's a bit of a, maybe not quite of enough punch to it, but maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. I do love myself a bit of Necro, so you've got to take that into consideration, right? Okay. Let us continue here. Dagger main hand. Necrotic Slash. Necrotic Stab. Necrotic Bite. All down by 33%. Dagger is one of those weapons that hasn't really seen a lot of play ever, really. Well, I mean, back in the day it did, but not anymore. You know what I think, guys? And this is my hot take. I think Dagger should be made into a support weapon, actually. For utilization primarily with Scourge. So, you heal your allies, you siphon life to them, and you make a pact and buff them or something like that, But that's a rework for another day. I think Dagger, in general, it's... I don't know, it's not the best weapon in the world. A Bunker Reaper. Oh, yeah, dude, Life Siphon? You're absolutely right there, Savage. Like, Life Siphon is actually fat. It's such a strong heal, actually. And Dark Pact, again, a boon has been reduced. This is actually okay, because Dark Pact immobilizes you and corrupts a boon, so I think that's okay. I think, actually, for Dark Pact. I think that's acceptable to have that as only one boon. Although it does feel kind of bad still. But then again, it has that immobilized component, so, yeah, sure. Dagger Offhand, Deathly Storm, reduce power. Yep, that's fine. It's a chain blind transfer. Yeah. It's a little bit too far to have it do damage as well. It didn't really do a lot, but still, yeah, fine. Enfeebling Blood, reduce weakness duration from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. I think this is one of the abilities that could actually be buffed. I feel like Enfeebling Blood might actually get buffed simply by existing now. I wonder if you'll start seeing this played, actually, in PvP. Or maybe Focus as well. Potentially, to kind of compensate for the lack of boon rip and less weakness application, actually, across the board. Because this ability is actually surprisingly good. It's an AoE boon corrupt, right? And it applies weakness and a little bit of bleeding there as well. You know, I can actually see this seeing some play, actually, now. With the power level of everything else coming down. And this one hasn't really lost its power level. It still has its boon corrupt. It still has weakness, a little bit less. And it still has bleeding. I can see Enfeebling Blood actually seeing play here. Because, I mean, you take it for free, right? You take it in Weakening Shroud. You get it when you go in Shroud, you get an Enfeebling Blood. So I can certainly see something like that happening. Focus, Soul Grasp, Vuln stacks up from 5 to 8. Okay. And one thing to note here, guys. Spinal Shiver's not nerfed. So still, solid DPS and a triple boon rip and a chill. That's quite powerful. There as well. I still think Focus 4 is a weird ability, but you know, I think if it tracked it, if you could actually land it a bit better, the projectile is really scuffed on Soul Grasp, right? It's a weird ability. So maybe if that was addressed, it could be made a little bit better. But yeah, Focus. I think Focus and Dagger, you might actually see a little bit of spice there. So I think Focus and Dagger might be a little bit more prevalent there for sure. So stay tuned for that, I think, and we may see a little bit more play there. Interesting stuff. Okay, so Great Sword, auto attack chain again, 33% nerfs, standard. Gravedigger, whoa. Yeah. So they are aware that Reaper could potentially become a little bit degenerate. So they nearly half the damage actually on Gravedigger there. And yeah, I think this is good. Dude. Guys, I don't want to sound like an ArenaNet shill here, but I've got to hand it to the balance team. They have actually tried to think of specs that might become broken if other stuff gets nerfed, right? Reaper was definitely one of those specs that could have become really busted, and they're trying to address that. Actually here as well. This is a good change here. Because bear in mind, guys, yes, this is a big nerf to Gravedigger, but everything is getting nerfed, and Reaper is kind of one of the sleeper OP ones, dude. Okay? So, yeah, I think this is probably okay. It will end up being quite low damage, though. But I think maybe the ability to really cleave down states hard by spamming it might maybe kind of counteracts that a little bit. Maybe they could give it dude, this is the perfect time, okay, to implement my change. Gravedigger. Every time you land a Gravedigger, like the next Gravedigger does more damage, right? This would be kind of like a PvE change, I guess, really, right? So Reaper is like the executioner, right? If you keep landing Gravediggers, every single one keeps doing more and more damage, right? And you've got to do it within 3 seconds or something like this. You've got to chain them together. That could be like a really fun mini game in PvE, I think. And it would make Reaper quite strong, I think, if they had to do that, right? It's such a cool idea, I think. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, and as Suffrage says, this is not really a common ability to see used in PvP. It's very, very slow. So you don't typically land this, right? So this is fine. Death Spiral, reduce the power coefficient per strike from 0.35 to 0.3. Reduce the volume from 10 seconds to 6. Yep, again, get your Death Spiral, use it, right? That's what ArenaNet is saying here. Use that volume, go, right? Makes sense to me. And Nightfall, halve the power damage on it. Yeah, this is good. I don't think it did a nice bit of pulsing damage, right? But nerfing this is actually important because it is an AoE blind field, okay? And an AoE boon corrupt. Bear in mind, guys, they haven't nerfed the corrupt here as well. Okay, bear that in mind. Consider that this is going to be quite a strong corrupt skill, actually, and you can trait this to have to chill on blind as well, right? On Nightfall, which is very obnoxious and will be very strong, by the way, guys, because they're reducing the amount of, like Firebrand cleanse output is getting removed to a certain extent there. And Chill is going to be AIDS, right? Believe me there. And Grasping Darkness, this actually, Grasping Darkness, the Great Sword 5 on Reaper, it actually does do a lot of damage, a fair bit of damage anyway, right? So, reducing the power damage there, making it just a pull and a chill makes sense. Chill and pull and damage, that's a little much. Good change. Torch. Reduce the power coefficient from 1.2 to 0.01 on your Oppressive Collapse. Yep, so now it buffs Might and CCs. It doesn't buff Might, CC, and do damage. To be fair, you didn't really do a lot of damage with this because you typically play Condi. But then again, they're just keeping it in line, right? So, yeah, that makes sense. Utility skills. Oh, no! Corrupt Boon! Number of boons corrupted from 2 to 3. From 3. And increase the ammo recharge from 18 seconds to 24 seconds. Yep, this is good. It had it coming. It absolutely had it coming. This is a very, very, very powerful ability, and seeing it nerfed doesn't surprise me. I have nothing else to say about this change. It's still good, right? It's still good. And I think maybe to compensate for this, you could maybe reduce the amount of poison it applies to you. Because that, 2 boons for poison can fuck you over quite a lot, actually, reducing the healing you take. So, I don't know, just food for thought there as well. But still a strong ability. It will still see play. Necro bringing Corrupt Boon to the table. A 1200 unblockable Boon Corrupt is very good. Plague Signet cooldown goes up to 45 seconds. In general, yep, it's because it's a stun break in particular, right? This is also a really, really good ability. The big transfer. Wait, what is happening with my camera? I don't know why this is happening, guys. Hang on. Have I got a bad connection somewhere? It can't possibly be overheating, because it is not that hot in this room. It has been hotter before. Hang on, I'll open the window to make sure a little bit more, but it should be okay. Anyway, so yeah, fine change the placement there. It's still going to be a good ability. Signet of Spite, reduce vulnerability duration from 10 seconds to 6 seconds. Signet of Spite doesn't show you a lot of play, but again, it seems like 6 seconds is how... You'll see that number a lot, right? Like, they love it. Like, you're going to take that 6 seconds and you're going to do something with it, And it feels good, man. I skipped the heals. Dude, how is that even possible? Dude, this fucking feels weird, man. Right, we're going back to the heal skills. Well of Blood. Base heal is down. Pulse heal, 0.4 to 0.2 coefficient. Yep, this is fine. You don't really see this get used a lot. You typically see the passive get used rather than the when you start reviving someone, rather than the active. So this is fine. Consume conditions is very, very good value. That's what you typically see. I wonder if there's ever a universe where you would actually use the corruption trait actually with Corrupt Boon and consume conditions. Then you've got a really short cooldown heal skill, much shorter than a lot of other classes. It will be a full cleanse every 20 seconds. And a Corrupt Boon will be down there as well. But you will apply a lot of conditions to yourself, and you will lose Terror as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of competition there. So there's probably not a universe where that ever happens. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let us continue going on here. All right, so Sandflare. Reduce the barrier coefficient. Halving it. Reduce the heal coefficient from 1.1 to 0.75. Increase the cooldown from 25 to 30 seconds. Wow. Yeah, to be fair, this is a very strong ability, so that is a fine nerf there, I think. I think they're trying to... Why are they nerfing the coefficients? They're trying to prevent you from using Sage Amulet, I think. They want you to use Carrion, I presume. Yeah, they want you to use Carrion Amulet instead of Sage Amulet, to avoid Blood Scourge becoming too oppressive, I think, with loads of sustain, I think. So that makes sense to me. So Spectral Armor, cooldown's going up. Spectral Warp, cooldown's going up there as well. Ooh, the Spectral Warp one kind of hurts. This was one of Necro's main survivability tools, and it still will be, I would imagine, allowing you to port out of danger, also being a stun break and gives you some swiftness too, which is nice for mobility. With that speed rune, boys, get that speed rune rolling. But so yeah, that is, that's kind of a bit of an oofle right there, I suppose. But it's in line with everything else, so it is okay. Well of Corruption. Reduce the power coefficient from 0.5 to 0.45. I mean, that is not a very big nerf. I think that's okay, because it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage anyway with Well of Corruption. I think maybe you could do something else with this ability, but it's pretty standard ability. It corrupts boons in an AoE. Seems good to me. We can keep it like that. Easy peasy, boys. I like it. Well of Power, Might duration is down. Yeah, sure. Like I said, those 6 seconds, boys. Well of Suffering, pulsing power damage is down to 0.9. You can maybe go a little bit further on that to say 0.8. I mean, like the Scourge kind of nuke, AoE nuke in World versus World is maybe a little higher right now, but it's not this ability that's the problem, really. It's the other Scourge abilities, right? That's kind of more of the issue.
Thank you for your business.
Okay, and Nothing Can Save You. Vulnerability. Oh, that magic number. 6 seconds, you know. Yeah, keep well straight. Yeah, I think that's fair, Sig. I think that's a good way to go about it. Dude, CMC, do you really like the number 6? You know, okay, you know, fair enough, right? You know, it's good. You know, it's a good number. It is. It's a good number. Nothing Can Save You. Reduce. Yeah, there we go. That's done. Rise. Power coefficient is halved, and the cooldown is reduced. Ooh. You know, combined with the Reaper Shout trait, you can use that a lot now, and this is quite a strong effect, actually. It will give you a lot of tankiness. Like, this will make Reaper really, really tanky. I wonder if there's any situation where you would use that. Like, you might think about it anyway on Reaper, because you can still use your Flesh Worm. You could use Rise instead of You're All Weaklings, I guess, but then you've lost your Stun Break, so you probably want to kind of hold on to that there as well. And then you could, you know, I don't know, like maybe this could see some experimentation for like a real brawler Reaper, absorbing damage with the minions. I can see it, actually. Honestly, I feel like Reaper might be making a bit of a comeback at some point. That it's a pretty juicy one, dude. Suffer. Reduce the power coefficient from 0% to 0.3. Yep, it's a chill transfer ability. Purity of purpose. You're All Weaklings. Power coefficient 0.7, 0.4. Might duration is down. Weakness duration is down again. Yep, once again, purity of purpose. It gives might. It weakens people. It doesn't do damage. It didn't do damage anyway, but, you know, still. There we go. Oh! Trail of Anguish. 50-second cooldown. You know what, though? Hear me out, guys. That is surprisingly good, I think, actually. Because every other stun break is reduced in cooldown, and you still get 6 seconds of stability out of it. So that is surprisingly good. But in World versus World, that's a little extreme, to be honest. Is it? In World versus World, it's probably a little bit too far. In PvP, maybe that's okay. But would you run this on... even on Scourge? Maybe you would just take other options, right? Like the Flesh and stuff. It's still a good ability, don't get me wrong, right? And it does some damage too with the burning, and it removes a boon when you get people with the trail, so that's quite strong. But 50-second cooldown, that hurts. That's kind of lame because Necro is quite vulnerable, right? It's quite vulnerable right off the bat. It corrupts. Yeah, it corrupts into Torment and Cripple, but 50-second cooldown. That, you know, you're not going to be killing anyone with that, are you? Right? We'll see. And Desiccate. This is such a trash ability, man. Holy shit. Reduce the might duration from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Increase the number of might stacks from 5 to 8. So maybe you can like charge yourself up and whack it. But yeah, who am I kidding? No. That's not good. Summon Flesh Golem. No damage, but 30-second cooldown. Whoa. Insane. Wow. Oh, wow. So good. Incredible. Incredible stuff there, my friends. And Ghastly Breaches nerf there as well. But dude... Reaper, guys, Reaper, chilled to the bone. Stabs down, 6 seconds, which is fine. Power damage is gone. And to be fair, this was a hard-hitting ability. It could hit you for thousands. A good chunk. It could really chunk you a little bit. But 3-second stun. Oh my goodness. If you do not have a stun break versus a Reaper, you are gonna have a bad time, my friends. That is an elite skill right there. Oh my god. And a 75-second cooldown. That is getting chopped, boys. That is getting chopped. I wonder if there's some kind of Shout Reaper that might come out of this. Right, use the Shout trait to reduce the cooldown a lot when you hit lots of targets and really get a lot of chilled to the bones off during these encounters, and wombo combo people there with chill and long stun durations. That is a powerful ability right there, my friends. A juicy ability. Ghastly Bitch, yep, slow duration going down is good. Slow as AIDS. And yeah, Flesh Golem, it's not going to see play, but I like the effort. I do enjoy that. Well, Frozen Men is going to play that shit, right? Like, yeah, Frozen Men is going to play it, but no one else is, okay? Now we're on to the traits for Necromancer. Okay. Traits. Spite, Reaper's Might. Might stacking is way down. Good, this is fair. Reaper getting 25 might for free with perma quickness, not good. Yep, good. Ha, they actually did this one too. Reduce the bonus damage while down from 25% to 5%. Reduce the vulnerability duration from 8 to 6 seconds. Yep, this is actually a really good change. Reaper down state was so good, and now it is less good. However, it's still quite good. Yeah, this is fine. The downstate trait was really weird, so removing it, kind of nerfing it down is fine by me. Siphon Power. 2 stacks of might down from 3, and the duration is down as well. To be honest, when a Reaper is fighting you and you're getting low on health, it will still absolutely generate 25 might. So what Siphon Power does is, guys, like if you're striking someone, I believe it's under 50%. It's either 50% or 25%. It will generate 2 might stacks for 6 seconds. Now it won't be quite as good because the duration is a lot lower on Reaper's Might and on that trait as well. But this is absolutely gonna generate. Yeah, it's 50%. This will generate a lot of might still. You know, even in this situation. So this is still very, very powerful, guys. It's still strong. Don't get it twisted. Bit of chill. Vulnerability down from 8 to 6. Yep, 6 is the magic number. Chill of Death. I love these changes. Now, this is good because getting hit randomly under 50... Look at this, guys. Right now, it can't crit, but it still is an undodgeable triple boon rip, mega chill duration, and also a big spike based on how much boons you remove as well. How many boons you remove there. That's my... This is a really good change. This sort of passive stuff is really, really annoying. I'm surprised I didn't remove the cooldown. This is actually a very powerful source of boon rip still as well, guys. Bear that in mind. It's a lot of boon rip there. But I think this actually does kind of open up some other other options as well. For example, Awaken the Pain is something that you could actually consider here. I think as well, it's going to make your power damage better. It effectively gives you more stats, and you get might when you go in Shroud for a decent duration there as well. It's something that you could definitely consider. Or even Terror, no, sorry, not Terror, Dread, to get the extra vulnerability and the damage increase when you fear them. You could maybe utilize that as well with the less stun breaks about the place there to spike people down. I think that this trait is a lot more competitive. Previously, Lesser Spine Shield is just so good because you randomly spike people and chill them, which is just such a massive shutdown. Like, in particular against Weaver, right? Like, Weaver really struggled against stuff like this because chill fucks up Weaver, and if you can't dodge the Spinal Shivers, you're really, really sad. So yeah, this is a good change here. They massively nerfed that. It just doesn't do a lot of damage anymore. There you go. It's good. Yeah, it is good. And then Dread. Oh, Dread. They actually removed they reduced damage from 33% to 50%. That's pretty much in line, though, in my opinion. Like 33% mods are very scary, especially on Reaper. Especially things they haven't actually nerfed that much with the rest of the classes there as well. And Spiteful Spirit. Reduce power coefficient from 0.4 to 0.1. Woo! And reduce the number of boons corrupted from 2 to 1. Reduce additional boons corrupted against foes under 50% health from 2 to 1. Yeah, 4 boons was insane. AoE as well. I think this is fine. I think maybe the... yeah, just randomly proccing this by going in Shroud with no counterplay. Yeah, that does deserve to get nerfed. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think. That's good. That is good. Alright, Curses. Bard Precision, that's the on-crit bleed trait. Reduce bleeding from 2 to 1. Yeah, in general, we're seeing all these on-crit traits really getting toned down, so nothing really surprising there. Seems good. Weakening Shroud. Reduce the weakness duration from 5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Yeah, this was actually a very obnoxious trait, actually, on Necro. So degenerate, oh my god. And halving the duration there. This trait definitely deserved it. Will it still see play? I think, yeah, it will. Like, the AoE boon corrupt bleed and weakness is still good. Like, the weakness you get by just critically striking people, and also just by proccing the enfeeble is still gonna be very good. Weakness is one hell of a drug, man. It's real good. But you know, it's still, you know, there are potential for other options maybe coming about the place later on. And Devouring Darkness from Lingering Curse. PB will now use the World vs. World version of skill, 1 boon corruption. Yeah, this is to keep it in line because Feast of Corruption now does 1 boon in PvP too, so they couldn't, well, they could maybe make Lingering Curse improve the AoE boon rip, potentially. They can actually do that. They can make Lingering Curse increased the cooldown of Scepter 3 considerably, but maybe make it do AoE boon corrupt as well, make it corrupt more boons. That's an option they could go with, but they'd have to be careful with that. I know they want to remove the removal spam, so I know either way is good for me. I think it's fine. Death Magic, Dark Defiance, increase the cooldown from 20 to 35 seconds. This is the when you get CC'd, you gain protection, right? Yes. That is how it works. Yeah, that's fine. I guess, honestly, this trait is a little bit shit. You would mostly take it for the condition damage reduction anyway, so this doesn't really impact the effectiveness of the trait because the protection uptime was not good. If you want protection uptime, you want Corruptors Fervor. Now, that is good protection uptime. Dude, I wonder if, like, I really think that because the power level of so much stuff is coming down, I think there's so much more build potential, actually, in PvP coming out of this, because now stuff like, dude, what if you actually don't need to focus so much on damage? Because you're a one-trick Reaper. And you can go with some kind of, like, weird perma protection death magic bruiser Reaper, you know? It's good. I don't know. It's kind of some fun ideas that can come out of this. Blood Magic. Lesser Mark of Blood from Mark of Evasion. Reduce the power coverage to 0.1. Yep. And reduce the amount of bleeding to 0.1. Yeah, now it's probably a lesser Mark of Blood. We've seen that a lot of on-dodge traits are getting nerfed as well. Or even removed, actually, potentially. This is fine. You can now use it to gain regen on yourself, but, no, like, it's, you know, it is what it is, right? It's not the end of the world. Life from Death, reduce the revive pulse from 10% to 5%. Yeah, they want to be careful with this sort of stuff. This trait doesn't really see a lot of play anywhere, really. But I think they're kind of double checking. They're making sure that they don't get when you get I do like when you gain CC. Yeah, when you get some of that CC on you. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Life from Death, that is getting nerfed down, so you can't just res people. But then again, it wasn't really amazing anyway. Transfusion. With the Scourge spec equipped only, reduce the pulse heal. Wow, reduce the pulse healing a fair bit, actually. And, whoa, and they destroyed the coefficient. Wow, they are scared of this trait. And rightfully so, by the way. It's a very good one. Because it does a lot, right? It heals AoE. It also revives people. It teleports. So, yeah, again, purity of purpose. This is honestly fine. This trait is very strong, and they need to be careful with it. This actually frees up a lot of design space for maybe adding a heal Scourge to PvP. I think that's actually a good change to Transfusion. I will, yeah, that's good. Fear from Death. Reduce the bonus fear duration from 100% to 50%. Yeah, this is just good. There's no way to slice it, guys. This is good. This was really obnoxious. You still have your really nice life force generation from Fear of Death, but you don't have 3-second fear anymore. Oh, well, yeah, you do, because they buffed Doom, and it is a 3-second fear base now with this trait. But yeah, 100% duration from one trait was a bit crazy. So yeah, this is a good adjustment there. Unyielding Blast, Vuln down to 6 from 10. 6 is the magic number, boys. This is a bit of a weird one because you do kind of want to continuously apply Vuln here, but I guess it's to prevent you from stacking up loads of Vuln, and you don't really see... This trait doesn't really see a lot of play anyway in PvP because Soul Marks exists, and Soul Marks is real good for Life Force generation and that juicy unblockable to fear people in the blocks. Yeah, oh yeah, it's going to be good. Hey, Finn, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's going to be good. It's this chaos, dude. I'm ready for the chaos. And Doomfire. Doomfire with the Scourge specialization could only reduce the burning duration from 3 seconds to 1 second. Okay. Are there any Scourge mains in the chat, guys? Dude, they've actually taken Scourge out back. I mean, that is a big nerf right there. That is a big ass nerf. On Doomfire there. Spicy. This hurts me in PvP. Oh, it definitely does, dude. That is real. Hello, Phantom. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, that is a big oof on Doomfire there for the Necro mains. But yeah, I mean, I think Scourge in general was a problem, so kind of making sure it doesn't come back is good. To be honest, and everything else has been nerfed down as well, and you will be able to proc this quite regularly, right? You can proc this a lot, but I mean, compare this, right? Like every auto attack on Core Necro will give you 3 seconds of burning, compared to, oh wait, no, it even has a cooldown. No, it has a fucking, oh dude, this trait got fucking wrecked. Holy shit. It's got a 5-second internal cooldown in PvP, doesn't it? Oh, that is a bit of an unfortunate meme, dude. That is a oof. Yeah, I don't know. And you can't really compensate, even if you wanted to. Like, even if you had 100% duration, it's only a 2-second burn on Doomfire. That is not very good. Let me tell you guys. I'm going to tell you that one for free. That is not very good. You know, you have a 1-second burn every 5 seconds, dude. What the fuck? That is, I mean, ugh. That is interesting. Like, I mean, on core Necro, I can see this being usable, but on Scourge, like, I don't know. Would you really use that? I mean, come on, like that is not good. That is not good, especially with like all the amulet changes as well. Like, no dead shot hurts Scourge quite a lot. I think that's a bit of a feels bad man for Scourge. Yeah, so that's pretty brutal actually. But, I mean, personally, I like that. I don't think Scourge should really exist in PvP, so all world versus world except as a support. We can bring it back using my amazing suggestion for heal Scourge. But other than that, I'm afraid it's got to go. All right, Reaper. Chilling Nova, reduce the power coefficient from 0.6 to 0.1. Increase the chill duration from 1.5 to 2 seconds. Increase the internal cooldown from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So, yeah, overall, like, your chill uptime is... what is that? That's actually, yeah, it's 20, yeah, actually a little bit higher chill up time overall, but a lot less damage. So yeah, it's kind of a purity of purpose thing as well. Traits like this that kind of proc and you can't really do anything about them are a bit of a problem. Yeah, it is a bit of a problem there. So yeah, there you go. That's all good, if you ask me, on Chilling Nova. And I think this, I wonder if, I think you might legitimately see some other choices being taken here as well. Stuff like Relentless Pursuit and Augury of Death. I think they can be potentially quite strong options there as well, actually, for, you know, both sustain and for having that mobility and being able to handle those movement impairing effects that can kind of blight Necro quite a lot there, actually. You know, yeah, so I think this is a good meme there as well. But, you know, never ever underestimate AoE chill, guys. Believe me, it's a powerful one. Yeah, I think a good change in general there as well. And just, you know, increasing the cooldowns of some of this passive stuff is also really good, just in general. Chilling Victory, Might duration is now 6 seconds from 8. Yeah, that's fine. Once again, you know, the Might is nice here as well. But, you know, you got a lot of Might generation from Spite anyway. So it's not really a necessary thing. Like, the Life Force generation is quite high value, though, as well for a Reaper. Like, Reaper is a class that doesn't always have the easiest time getting a mega Life Force. So, you know, it makes sense not to nerf that. Scourge, Sand Sage, concentration expertise down to from 75 to 45. Yep, that sounds good. So it's 5% down to 3% on this stuff here as well. This actually keeps it in line with the damage reduction on Blood as Sand. So now it's going to be the same. It's still 5% concentrate, 5% boon duration expertise. Now it's 3%, so it's perfect, right? Fell Beacon, condition damage to expertise, 7% to 4%. Yep, you didn't use this anyway. You would use Nourishing Ashes. Oh, but never mind. Nourishing Ashes is getting the hammer as well. Reduce the life force gain from 5% to 3%. That, oof. I mean, yeah, they're really making sure. They're really making sure Scourge isn't good. Well, you know, like cucking the life force generation, sadistic searing. Oh, like the burning on that is gone as well. You know, your cooldown reduction is more effective though because the skills are a lot longer. You know, cooldown. So I guess you get some value there. Demonic Law isn't surviving either. Your Torment still does more damage, which, you know, is going to be good. Like, I think if the Torment damage coming out from Scourge could actually end up being quite strong. Right? Okay? Right? That's true. But you've lost so much damage from not having that burning now on Demonic Law. That 1k damage that you guys see there, that's going down to 1k, right? You know, like that is a bit of an oof right there, dude. You know, like that is Scourge. That's a bit of a rip. So overall, dude, Core Necro didn't actually get touched that much. Like the biggest change was absolutely the well, rather one of the really big changes was the fact that the Fear has an animation, which is really good. So overall, the changes to Necro are good, but watch out for Reaper and Scourge is like, yeah, no, that's probably. I don't see it coming back. I don't think. I don't see it as being particularly good. Like, you know, it's still going to suffer from a lot of the issues that Scourge has now, but it also does a lot less damage now. Like with the Doomfire nerf, the demonic Law nerf there as well, and you still can't pressure around yourself at the same time. But being able to use your shades every 8 seconds and getting those corners back at double the speed, that might actually help Scourge a lot. You'll be able to kind of stand in the shade and place a shade on yourself a little bit more. But I don't know. And with the overall damage reduction of power class support, like maybe Scourge could come back. But I don't know. Personally, I'm not really seeing it. I don't know. I think it will be quite vulnerable. But yeah, there you go. And you know what I do like is that Scourge DPS being nerfed gives design space for support Scourge coming back, or rather being a thing in PvP in World vs. World. That could be that is a fun idea right there, and it's one that I definitely advocate for. So there you go. That's it for Necromancer.